Hi, this is Rose from Jewelry Designs by Rose. Thank you so much for watching my channel. Thank you to all my subscribers and my viewers. Today is going to be part 2 of the December Bargain Bead Box. I previously had a video. It was just running too long, and so now I'm going into part 2, and I'm going to show you the cute necklace that I made that I mentioned and had a picture of two videos ago. It's a very pretty necklace. It's long and it's double-stranded, so stay tuned for that. And I'm also going to show how to do some wire wrap. Thanks so much for watching. This is a picture of the necklace with the background that's black, trying to get a good color. It's the blue beads. It has the snowflakes in 3 locations, in the front and up on the side, and it's connected in the back with a chain. Next, I'm going to show you with a lighter background. Hopefully you could see this one a little bit better. And then I'm going to kind of give you a video of kind of close up of the necklace so you could see exactly how I put it all together. Okay, so this is the necklace that I made, and I wanted to go over, I used 3 of the snowflake beads, 2 on the sides and 1 on the bottom, and I made this through using just simple wire and crimping beads and some crimp covers. And these are all the December Bargain Bead Box beads. And I also used the pretty chain that it came with. I love this style chain. It's really pretty. I made it a very long necklace, and it just easily fits over your head. You could make it a little bit smaller. On me, it kind of is not too long. I used some simple jump rings, and then I used the wire the wire on each side, and you can see that I left a space in between on the snowflake. So I used 5 of the blue beads, and then I used the silver rondelle spacer bead, and then I used another 5, and then the crystal, and then the silver spacer beads, and some of I think these are 10 or 12 millimeter beads, the spacer bead, the white bead, and then another of the blue beads and the silver beads, and then the smaller beads. I think that smaller one is like a 6 millimeter bead. And then I just crimped that onto the snowflake. And as you can see, I really like the space on the snowflake. Then I used the kind of the matte blue color and the 2 snowflake beads in between. And then I just used a crimping bead and a crimp cover on the end. And you want to leave a little bit of room so that it's a little bit looser. This one tends to like kind of get kinks, so leave some more space in between here, just so that it moves a little bit easier, free flowing. As you can see, it kind of like gets doesn't move as easily as I would have liked it to. Still looks nice on, but if you leave a little bit more wire on the ends of these, it would be a lot more smooth, easier to move around. And then I made this cute drop here with blue bead and 1 of the snowflake beads, and then a smaller little blue bead at the bottom. And that looks really cute. And I did the same thing on the other side. It came out really super pretty. I love this design. My husband likes it too. And so I think I'm going to make a few more of these designs and try to find these different, instead of the snowflake, maybe find a different bead so that it could be worn any time of year. And but I really like this one a lot. I think I'm just going to keep this one for myself because I love this design so much. It's really super pretty. Um, love these snowflakes again. But if you guys have any suggestions of other replacement beads, I would love to hear. Thanks so much. Now I'm going to show you how to make a wire wrap around the crystals. And you're basically going to need about 6 to 8 inches of wire. You're going to take it about third way down and squeeze the wire upwards. And then you're going to squeeze at the top of the crystal, leaving a little space on the top. And then I'm going to go up just about 2 millimeters from the where I squeezed the wires together. And then you're going to create a loop so that you can hang the crystal from a chain or a project, making a pendant. And so after you do that, then you're just going to straighten the end, and then you're going to cut off the wire just slightly below so that you could do a wrap around it and it would be hidden by the wire. So I'm just going to take the wire now and start wrapping around that wire, and it'll probably go about 3 or 4 times. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to keep going until I get close to the top, and then I'm just kind of adjusting the wire as I go to make sure that everything's straight. And if you wrap it around and they're not close to each other, you can kind of use the flat nose pliers to squeeze them together, and then just keep going. And then once you finish with that, you get to the top, you cut off the excess wire, and then you use the chain nose pliers to kind of tuck in that wire that you just cut off so that it's not sticking out. And then just make any adjustments that you need, squeezing everything together, making sure it looks nice, using the flat nose pliers. And as I'm looking to it, it looks like it's kind of leaning over to the right. So I'm just going to pull out the sides a little bit so that the wire goes over the top. And then once I do that, then it should look good. And now I could just use that as a pendant on, basically any type of necklace. Part of my wire is sticking out on the bottom, so I'm just cutting that piece off and making sure that it fits okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you another way to do a wrap around a crystal. So this is crystal number 2. And I'm just taking the wire, about 6 inches of wire, and you could do longer, 8 inches, because you may want to wrap it a little bit more. You can see I am taking this piece and just kind of free forming it up, bending it so that it's straight upwards. And there's a little piece that's sticking up, which I'm going to wrap. It's kind of like doing it the opposite direction I did before. So I'm bending the wire back, and I'm going to make now the loop at the top. And after I make the loop at the top, I'm going to use some flat nose pliers to hold it, and I'm going to wrap around the crystals. Now, if you made this longer, maybe 8 inches long, you could continue to wrap it all the way around the top of the crystal. And basically you would just want to, if you did that, you would want to just kind of squeeze the wires together as you go so that it forms a nice uniform wrap around if you want a nice clean look. If you don't, mind the kind of rough look, you could also just keep wrapping it around and it could be, kind of free form. That also looks nice as well. So basically just going to wrap around until you get to where you've angled it. And then you're going to cut off the excess wire. So I'm just going to go, yeah, a little bit further until it's the way that I like it. And I'm just going to kind of like it a little bit longer, so I'm just going to keep trying to wrap it around. And I'll straighten it out a little bit here and there. I'm just kind of trying to get it to wrap around all the way. And make sure that it's not sticking out. And that's pretty much it. So that's 2 ways to do the wire wrap, but again, you can wrap it around more times to cover the top of the crystals. Then I'm going to take this one here. This one has a smaller hole, so I'm going to try to use a longer piece of wire here and go a little bit over the top to show you what that looks like. Same basic design. So I'm going to go down a little ways on the wire. And I'm just going to make it around and squeeze it at the top. Then I'm going to slide the crystal on. I have to open it up a little bit to make it fit a little bit better, but just wanted to get that form going so it has some space. Okay, so now I'm gonna, now that I have it on, I'm gonna squeeze it at the top. And you don't need all this extra wire because you're gonna wrap around it and cover it. So I'm just gonna cut it down a little bit. Probably could have used your fingers like I showed in the last, with the last crystal. And again, I'm gonna just bend it back and then make the round loop on the top, which is what I'm doing here. And then now with this one, I'm just gonna wrap it around, but I'm gonna go over the crystal this time. I made the wire a lot longer. And it doesn't have to look perfect if you don't want it to. And I should have made this wire a little bit longer because I would have liked it to go down a little bit further. So if you wanted to go further down the crystal, I would say probably 10 inches or even 12 inches would be better, because then it would go even further around. And I'm just trying to squeeze the wires together here and shape it nicely. So this partially covers the top. And again, I would have liked it to maybe cover a little bit more, but this is fine. This will do. And I'm just straightening it out a little bit, as you can see. I think that's cute. Real simple. Has a cute little design on the top, and just kind of straighten it out a little bit. Like I said, you kind of think it would have been nice to be a little bit more covering the top part. It's kind of crooked on the top, but that's okay. It's fine. I made another video with a similar necklace and design, so I will be showing that in my next video. If you're not interested in watching that again or seeing that, please feel free to skip it. But thank you so much for watching my channel. I appreciate all of you, and I wish you all the best in 2022.